All right, we're going in, bro.
First and foremost, I want to say all praise to Yahawah, SHAM, YAHAWASHI, SHAM, Rakah. Double honors to the elders, apostle of GMS, and to all the Akim, all the elders who keep coming out to these streets, and pushing the word of Yahawah, SHAM, YAHAWASHI to USA. Shalom. Shalom. But yeah, today, man, I want to go a little bit into, because there was something that was brought up, and I guess I would say, my little family hold or whatever, little questions, that they ask and stuff like that. And it's got to do with Halloween, What a coincidence.
Oh, you talking about your immediate family?
Yeah. My immediate family, they ask little questions, and what I'm saying, they notice the difference within me, ever since I came into the truth, through the power of Yahawah, SHAM, YAHAWASHI. And so, they know. And so sometimes, they got a little question here and there, and, I answer it to the best of my ability through the Spirit. If I don't have the answer, hey, I pray about it, or I seek counsel from my elder. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But yeah, I want to go into a little article, that I found in the internet, just to break it down a little bit. Because I know once you start digging in, it goes deep and it goes deeper, and you get a lot of bones thrown at you, So Lord willing, this is edifying. Got this out of the book of the encyclopedia, and it goes a little bit into Halloween, the meaning of it, the practices of what was going on. And it says Halloween means a holy evening because it takes place in the day before All Saints Day. And it says many superstitions and symbols are connected with Halloween long before the advent of Christianity in Europe. The belief in witches, sorcerers, and magic was widespread. A worship of fertility was the main object of these early religious and magistical practices. From about 15 BC, the much feared Druids were empowered in Western Europe. This was a sect of priests, both male and female. Their currently and barbarity, and the kind of magic they practiced far outweighed their scholarship. People were used as sacrifices and were flung, tortured, and sexually molested before they were killed by having their hearts torn out while they were still alive. Their sexual organs were cut off and conserved to be used in black masses. Sometimes they were skinned, and the skin was used in different rates. The Druids taught that on Halloween, ghosts, spirits, fairies, witches, and elves came out to harm people. From this terrible satanic religion comes the use of witches, ghosts, and cats in today's celebration of Halloween.
Go.
The Druids had an autumn festival called Samhain, which marked the end of summer. It was a fertility festival thanking the spirits, which were demons,
Okay.
for the corpse of the year, for the crops, Salaka, for the crops of that year. During the night, black masses were conducted. The customs of using leaves, pumpkins, and corn stacks, corn stalks as Halloween decoration comes from this Druid festival. In 700 AD, the Roman Catholic Church made November 1st All Saints' Day, and the old pagan custom and the Christians' feast day were combined into the Halloween festival because the people refused to leave the old customs.
Yeah, and then around the 700s AD, you had Israelites. You had Israelites ruling around that time, and the Druids and the Celts. Those people right there, those were Israelites. When you go into the history of modern and ancient Britain by David McRitchie, it tells you that the Celts and the Druids were so-called black people. But we know and understand through history, according to prophecy, when you read Revelation 20th chapter, that we ruled Europe for 1,000 years. So those Druids and those Celts, they were speaking Gaelic, which when you go into Gaelic, it goes back into Phoenician, which goes back into Hebrew. So the Celts are speaking Hebrew, and those Druids and those Celts, those were Israelites being wicked. Okay? So when you go into that book, Ancient and Modern Britain by David McRitchie, you'll see it, what I'm talking about. Okay? If you do that type of research. Okay? Now, like the brother was saying, and he mentioned that vegetation, and what else you mentioned? Fertility, I want to say.
Come.
Because you had a hornhead god that was made up by the Celts, which name was Cernunnos, okay? Cernunnos, and that was a idol god, dealt with vegetation, wealth, and fertility, and that was also combined to Halloween too. The hornhead god Cernunnos, okay, and also dealing with their Halloween. I got an article I want to read, but I guess I'll read it when y'all start bringing out scriptures. I'll bring it out. You know what I'm saying? When y'all start bringing out scriptures, I let the scriptures come out first.
Come. And then another thing that I also wanted to add, it was, you know, in the Northern Kingdom, you know, because I'm from the Northern Kingdom, you got this day, you know, that's called Dia de los Muertos, which is translated, you know, in English, the Day of the Dead. And a lot of people, a lot of Israel, you know, in the Northern Kingdom, you know, they like to try to find a lot of excuses to be able to do certain things. For example, you know, here in the United States, you know, they celebrate Halloween. And in Mexico, they celebrate Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. Okay? And a lot of them would try to find an excuse when they do come to the States, you know, and say, well, I don't celebrate Halloween. You know, I don't celebrate that, because they know it's a so-called pagan holiday.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a pagan holiday.
And the Dia de los Muertos, you know, which is basically the same thing. Y'all are doing the same thing, you know. But the Northern Kingdom actually goes further, you know. They don't have all the same things like they do here in the United States, where you go around, you know, giving candy, you know what I'm saying, from house to house.
Okay.
And in Mexico, they actually go to the graveyards. You know, they dress up and they go to the graveyards, and it actually starts on October the 31st. And they start, you know, making food and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, for the gathering of the relatives, whether they're coming from out of town or, you know what I'm saying, from the couple, you know, blocks down or whatever it is. And on the 31st, that's kind of what they're doing, kind of prepping for that.
Yeah, prepping for that date.
Prepping for that date.
Right.
And on the 31st, that's when they start prepping. On November the 1st, they actually go out to the graveyards, to the cemetery, where these, you know, deceased people, you know what I'm saying, their relatives, you know what I'm saying, whether it be a grandparent, whether it be a father, a sister, a brother, you know, or, you know, whatever it is. And they actually go around and they clean the graveyard.
Yeah.
You know, they sweep it up, you know what I'm saying, they clean up, you know what I'm saying, the area of where their ancestor or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever they want to mention.
Getting ready for the party.
Getting ready for the party.
Yeah.
You know, and so they clean up and stuff like that, right? And which November the 2nd, that's the actual date. Okay? It's not like it is here in the United States, where the actual date is October the 31st.
Yeah.
It's November the 2nd when they actually go to the cemetery and they take flowers, they take bread, a special bread for them.
Right.
You know, they make it different, you know what I'm saying? They put new, you know, different ingredients that you would normally put on bread, because it's specifically made for those spirits that they believe that come back on that day.
Yeah. Like this world, like in Halloween. That what you're dealing with, witchcraft, but it's like the world of the dead, the spirit world of the dead, so to speak, connect with the world of the living. So they connect. So you're able to connect with each other. Yeah.
So you're able to connect. You know, that's the day that you're. I mean, because this, like I said, I'm from the Northern Kingdom. And
they don't know what the Northern Kingdom is, which is Israel. You got the Southern Kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? And then you got the Northern Kingdom, which consists of Ephraim, Gad, Zebulun, Simeon, Naphtali, Manasseh, you know, so on and so forth. Issachar, which that's the so-called Mexicans. Okay, that consists of the Northern Kingdom. It's 10 tribes, but I didn't name all of them. Okay, but I'm just giving you some of them. Okay. So when he say the Northern Kingdom, that's what he's talking about. When you understand the scriptures, when it goes into the split during the time of Solomon, it was a Northern Kingdom, which was Israel, and then it was a Southern Kingdom, which was Judah, after the time of Solomon. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Come. And basically, you know, it's like the elder was saying, you know, they believe that in that day, you know, the spirit world or whatever of the dead and of the living can actually, you know, they actually come together at that time. And at that time, whether it was their grandpa or whether it was their brother or father, actually comes back to the grave, and you know what I'm saying, and they get to talk to them and you know what I'm saying, ask for advice or whatever, like the elder was saying. It actually goes into all that witchcraft, you know what I'm saying, sorcery, and you know, familiar spirits, you know, trying to communicate, you know, with the dead, you know. So like the elder was saying, you know, it's just another reason to try to find to just party, because that's basically all they're doing, you know, depending on the area that you are in Mexico, whether you're in the northern part, the center, you know what I'm saying, in the center, or toward the south. You know, every region will have a little bit, you know, that they do. You know, some places, you know what I'm saying, they actually get mariachi bands, you know what I'm saying, and take it to the cemetery and party, because